Okay, so here's my little bit of a preamble.
So yes, I'd read the book. No.
I've said something like this before. I think it's really a B.F. Skinner idea. I think our technology, he said this in like the 60s, I think, or 70s. Our technology has progressed like crazy, like gangbusters in the 20th century and now into the 21st century. Our moral philosophy has not kept pace. Eric is fond of saying that things like yoga and philosophy and morality, those are all technology's tools, right? Those are tools we can develop. And instead of developing our philosophy and our code of morality to keep in pace with these technologies that we create, like the atom bomb and all these breakthroughs in quantum physics, and maybe we've already, according to some loudmouth kid, broken the universe because of that
Kim Kardashian's butt.
the big tube in Sweden. But yeah, same thing.
Yeah. Same thing.
The point being, I talk to a lot of people, and you see it even more on Reddit and places like that. Oh, everything's going to be fine because we're going to end up in robot bodies. Or everything's going to be fine because we're going to harness the sun's power and launch colonies to the outstretches of the universe. I think if the human race that exists on this planet right now suddenly got the ability to have a massive diaspora and went everywhere in the universe, shame on us and sorry universe. Because we would just spread like filth and vermin everywhere
Like
we could
disease.
We already do that. Look at how quickly our population's growing.
Look how many billions of dollars we're spending to try and inhabit Mars.
Exactly
To
my
leave,
point.
like, why would anyone choose to live on Mars versus Earth? We got water here.
Because we are obsessed with this thing we call technology and this thing we call more what we really mean is science and the specific technology that is science, and we think that all these things it creates, like our cell phones and our cameras and our spaceships, are just going to save us, and we almost have this complex, this faith that we put in them, and it blinds us to the fact that the waste and the useless self-absorption and the weird lack of any sort of goal that our cultures have is murdering our only functional spaceship. And so the question is,
No one's really stopping to say, why are we doing this?
like,
At
Well,
least
lots
as
of
a
people are
whole.
stopping to say why, but no one has the sway over enough people to make everyone
There's this
go,
big machine
"What's
pushing us
happening?"
this way, right?
so
Yeah.
there could be two questions here. I was going to say, do you think we're addicted to technology? But let's not even go there.
That's too
That's
easy.
a hard
If-
yes.
If
Yeah,
we're going,
that's too
if we're
easy.
going with we're addicted to technology, then is the solution a Luddite answer where it's like everybody drop them, let's all flush them down the toilet.
No.
We're going back.
No, because it's still a great tool.
Compost toilets and kerosene lamps for as long as we can manage it.
I feel like we've overcomplicated a lot of real simple, very incredibly effective technologies to give people jobs and to make our quality of life higher in some respects while ignoring more fundamentals of life. Like, I had this discussion with a couple people on the weekend that even something as simple as our school systems, like curriculum-based systems, and we're trying to appeal to the whole and get these people life skills to be able to work in the workforce. We're not teaching our next generations how to be good citizens. We're just teaching them how to be good workers. So there's a huge disconnect between why are we doing this and I just need to do this.
Well, there's
Why
a
am I
reason
doing
you can
it? Because Instagram and Facebook and
Yeah, because that chick is hot. Like,
exactly, and
That's
forget
all
the
that-
fact that Beijing is one giant smog cloud.
and this goes back to Dylan.
It's not my problem. I got a cell phone.
Not to pick on you, but just not wanting to think that there's this conspiracy theory of overarching something happening.
I don't think you need a conspiracy
This
for
is
rich, powerful people
this is
to
explainable because
mistreat young
Everybody else.
youthful people.
Everybody else. Yeah. So I think there's definitely powers at play that are things have been decided before we were born. So this is all going to play out of our control. That's kind of me being apathetic to it. But I do think that once you have that realization that we're discussing, the burden lies on yourself.
The order of things that happened is after World War II, they had all these factories in place to make weaponry. So after the war was over, all these people were coming back looking for jobs, and the system that they had put in place post World War II was factory. They had build. So the government post World War II humanity could have went in two different directions. They could have. Who was the president in after World War II? Does anyone remember? I just forgot.
Was it FDR?
Maybe.
FDR is Diefenbaker? No.
No, Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Okay, I don't
No,
remember.
Roosevelt's the 30s.
But I remember reading this in
Roosevelt's-
like a
There's
Malcolm
more than one
Gladwell or
Roosevelt.
something. Okay. We'll have to look that up. Can you put a
You're
little
the
subtitle? Put a subtitle. The president was this.
Somebody pull up your technology.
Yeah. Somebody. Yeah, we need you.
FDR.
So they could have went two ways. They could have said, okay, go spend time with your family, enjoy your freedom. But no, they said, go buy. We need to re-stimulate the economy. We need jobs for everybody because, the world was in economic collapse. So they forced this system into place. We need to re-stimulate the economy because so they converted those factories from weapons factories to cars factories. And then that was another, industrial...
The car thing was already happening.
The car thing was happening.
Frederick Taylor and then Ford was
He was
turning
32nd president from 1933 until his death in 1945.
So that's right at the end of World War
Yeah.
II.
Okay, but the thing was that the government told us to spend after World War II, not to spend time with your family. It was like let's get the economy moving again, and I think we're still riding that wave of just progress.
I think that's more like 250 years old, but yeah, it's
Yeah,
the same
Yeah.
sort of
it's
idea
it's,
of
it's the idea of we have constant growth. We
Yes.
have to be better than the previous generation, and the only way to do that is to continue to grow larger and larger.
But
than
you could
the
also
previous
say
generation.
if you're not growing, you're dying. But right?
well, that's
in
what
business.
that's what every economist says. Yeah, that's
Hold it together, Dylan. Come on.
okay.
I got another energy drink. Just a second. Oh no, I will never sleep tonight if I do that.
Don't do it.
I don't know if that related to your question. We go
No, it
off on
totally
so many
did. No, it
tangents.
totally,
Okay.
it totally did. Cool. What was my topic? No, the idea of how do we approach the conundrum of dealing with technology is a bit of an unfair question because it's like, how do you deal with not drowning when you find yourself in the middle of the ocean?
I think that
bad.
everything always restores balance over time. I think that it's just a big pendulum. So right now there's this big push on tech, and then all these you got all these old fuddy duddies going the kids these days are a bunch of useless idiots because their faces are always in their phone. But I think if you look at these kids and us and what we're trying to create, I think that it's going to balance out. It's going to swing the other way, and people are going to get sick of staring at their cell phones, and they're going to start craving human connection again. And I think
hope
that's
so.
starting to
I think
happen.
we'll find, and this sort of does segue into my topic, so I won't push it that way just yet because I want to give this topic its due. But I think once we start developing technology that allows us to not have a phone in our hand, once we have either some sort of subdermal implant
Not doing it.
or augmented reality, let's say. Something that has a computer on your belt and you have glasses on your face, you can look at someone's face and a text it'll recognize faces. If you get a text, you don't stop talking to the person, look down, it pops up, you can glance over for a second, see if it's important, and then continue having a conversation.
Imagine how incredibly. Have you seen a single episode of Black Mirror? That's going to make us so insular. It's going to make us the
potentially.
homeless people are going to be literally invisible. We're going to blank people out of our lives.
And that's
horrible.
that's
that was
freaky,
the first thing I said when I looked at this technology. But what's the difference between walking past a homeless person with your head in your phone and walking past a homeless person with your head in a text? You can see the world in front of you at least when you have the AR on.
Touche.
And I don't imagine
I
there
ignore
will.
the homeless all the time.
And it'll take a hacker to they're not gonna have. Dear God, I hope that the world doesn't go this way where companies start selling you face blotting technology. I think that the medium will hopefully be. There will be ethics, right? Like our ethics don't go out the window as these technologies get developed.
That's my point, though.
Don't rely on corporations to provide you ethics.
Well, look at that's Facebook's next thing.
But
Is Facebook Zuckerberg wants to kill the smartphone with augmented reality, right?
Our moral
They're moving into
philosophy-
Oculus and all that shit.
We're all
Yeah.
protectionists and individualists. Even the socialists among us.
Yeah.
We're all pretty socialist, very generous capitalists, but we're also capitalists. We also go to our own homes. You know,
Yeah.
we're not very expanded. I'm not saying, and that's a silly way of thinking that the sort of communal living, the communist approach is necessarily evolved.
Yeah.
It's not. It's just more at odds with capitalism than democracy is. But to quote every punk band ever, the basic tenets of capitalism and the basic tenets of democracy are fundamentally opposite. Let's work together and come to a consensus. Everybody is on their own. Spend wisely. It's up to you to figure out what's right in this sea of choices.
Yeah.
Let's all work together and make the right choices together and trust a few people with a lot of power, because we're going to use our communal energies to... It's almost top down, right? Over here, it's almost inverted. Capitalism is like sovereign consumer has to pick from all this crap, and it's only your fault if you pick wrong. You might fall off this pyramid of stuff. Then over here, we've got all these frickin' citizens who give all this power to, I guess the pyramid is supposed to be inverted, right? The politician's supposed to be down here, and we're all the populace who are in control. But then we give away all that control to one person. We give them all our executive authority because we're a little bit terrified and because we just want to go about our daily lives. And so when shit gets really sideways, or when that person just wants to make a buck because they're also have a bunch of capitalist interests, then they do some bullshit thing like an executive order. But now we're going into that whole thing.
Now, do you mind if I segue this into
Yeah,
my segment?
good
Because